There are a group of players on the Miami Hurricanes football team that believed in the vision. They believed in the goods that Mario Cristobal was selling to them. They believed in what he talked about. They believed in making it real again down here in South Florida with the Miami Hurricanes. And the Miami Hurricanes are one game away from winning a national championship on Monday night and making the guys that believed look like prophets because there's a group of dudes down here for which this isn't just about football. This isn't just about winning. This is about that belief in their coach, that belief in themselves, and that belief in bringing the University of Miami back to prominence on a football field. Something that pretty much no one on this team has ever seen or experienced because they weren't born the last time the Miami Hurricanes won a national championship. Heck, a few of them might have been like 2 years old the last time the Miami Hurricanes were actually good up until last season with Cam Ward. And we're going to talk about that on this video right here. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Shomut. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, leave your comments. Shout out to the sponsor of our show, Natalie Lopez, attorney at law. When life hits hard, the law firm of Natalie Lopez hits back harder. She practices in the areas of criminal defense and family law. You can reach her at 954-888-8833. That's 954-888-8833. And also on Instagram at nat.guilty. That's nat.guilty. Natalie will fight for you. Appreciate you, Natalie, as always, for your continued support of our show. So, Miami is about to face Indiana in the national championship. We all know this. We're just repeating it over and over and over again because you know what? It's so nice to hear. It's so nice to say. And the fact that we're going to have the opportunity to play for a title in our own building. I mean, it's only been done 3 times before. And each time it was done by the Miami Hurricanes in the Orange Bowl back in 83, in 87, and in 91. Miami Hurricanes won 3 national championships playing on their home field in the OB. It's too bad this game isn't in the OB where that stadium would be rumbling, but we'll be at the Hard Rock. And for some guys in this team, man, this isn't just about football, man. It's not about football. Football is only a small piece of it. Guys like Rueben Bain, Malachi Toney, Bryce Fitzgerald, Damari Brown, JoJo Trader, Jordan Lyle, Joshua Moore, Mark Fletcher. You know, heck, Xavier Lucas didn't start here, but he came back here. And you go through the list, and obviously the guys that started this thing off really were Rueben Bain and Mark Fletcher. And then you look at other guys like, see if I find any, Bobby Washington Jr., Armando Blunt. All these guys are Dave Brower dudes, man. Guys from South Florida who believed in a vision that Mario Cristobal had for them. OJ Frederic, another one right there. Just going through the roster just to make sure I don't forget anybody because I definitely want to give them all their props. Anyone else? There's a few freshmen out here who aren't getting any burn yet, but really the guys that I mentioned are the guys that have made a major contribution to this team's success, and the fact that we're sitting here right now playing for a national championship. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Oh, and Ahmad Moten, I forgot about him. He went to Cardinal Gibbons, by the way, a school that my son is going to next year. So maybe my son will be your next Miami Hurricane football star. I mean, let's make this happen, man. he loves football, and I mean, he is already the size of Malachi Toney right now, and he's 13 years old, about to turn 14. He weighs a little bit less, but pretty much the same size. And he's about to turn 14 in, 12 days. But let's talk about this. I mean, the fact that these guys, they had that belief in the vision that Mario Cristobal was selling, it wasn't an easy road to get here. I mean, you look back at this team a few years ago, and you look back at how it started with Mario here, And look, a lot of us didn't have a whole lot of patience. And I'm not going to sit here and say I had the patience either. I was impatient. I was not happy. When he jumped on board here in 2022, 2023, and Miami opens up the season, you know, losing to Middle Tennessee State in the fourth game of the year on our home field, that's a little hard to swallow, man. I mean, Middle Tennessee State, you beat Southern Miss, you beat Bethune-Cookman, and then you go on the road and lose to Texas A&M. Not a bad loss at the time, but then you come back and you lose at home to Middle Tennessee State. You then followed up with another loss back to North Carolina. You go to Virginia Tech, you win there, but then you get smoked by Duke on your home field. I mean, you're thinking about this like you lost to Middle Tennessee State and Duke on your home field. Remember, this is a program that at one time had a 58-game winning streak, and Mario Cristobal's teams started off 2 and 2-3 at home before getting a 4 overtime win over Virginia 14-12 before coming back home and getting drug off the field by Florida State 45-3. So a lot of losing, a lot of painful losses. I mean, you look at these losses, these aren't even close games. 45-3, 40-10 at Clemson, 42-16 against Pitt, getting absolutely 45-21 Duke, getting bludgeoned. And you're sitting here like, especially now looking at the fact that Kurt Signetti in year one goes 11-1 or 12-1. And then you look at this, or 12-2, and then you look at this, you're like, oh, what the hell? And then in year two, you feel like there's something turning around, and the team starts the season off 4-0, beats Texas A&M 48-33, looks good through 4 games, and then has that game against Georgia Tech. I remember that Georgia Tech game. Oh my God, I remember that Georgia Tech game. That Georgia Tech game was painful. I remember I was at a Halloween event in Miami Springs with my wife, and there was this haunted house in Miami Springs, and we're there. And the event ends. We're going to our car. I'm going to the car. Miami's in control. We're in the car. We're on 95, and I'm kind of still watching the game on television on my phone, driving on 95. I shouldn't be doing that, but hey, I was doing it. And I'm watching them not take a knee. And I'm watching Don Chaney fumble the football. And I know he didn't fumble the football technically by rule, but they didn't reverse it. He was down. I get it. But they didn't need to even run the play. And that's when I really lost it with Mario Cristobal. I was like, this guy can't be, he's just a horrible coach. He just doesn't seem to understand game situations. No matter how good of a recruiter he might be, he is going to be the reason we lose these games. And we did lose. And we gave up a freaking 50-yard touchdown with no time left and lost 23-20 in a game that we had won. And he lost the team that night. You're about to be 5-0. And instead, from that point on, you go 3-6 the rest of the way. You lose a week later by 10 at North Carolina, 41-31. You beat Clemson in a big win, 2 overtime win. And then you beat Virginia. And then maybe you say, oh, we turned it around. We're 6-2. Maybe something's here. Maybe. Then you go to North Carolina State and you can't score. You lose 20-6. I mean, the Hurricanes at that point were had an opportunity to be 7-2 going into Tallahassee against that dynamic Florida State football team that ended up going 13-0, getting screwed out of the playoffs, and go to Tallahassee and lose 27-20 behind Emory Williams, who shouldn't have even been starting at the time. It should have been Tyler Van Dyke. And they lost again 27-20. People think, oh, we could have won that game. I mean, not really. I don't care that it was tied at halftime. It doesn't really matter that it was tied at halftime because the reality was, or that Miami even led 13-10 in the third quarter. But more so the fact that outside of a big play to Jacoby George, we couldn't move the ball because, quite frankly, we didn't have a quarterback worth the snot that could throw the football. And then in that same game, Emory Williams blows his arm out, and they try to throw Tyler Van Dyke back in the game. I mean, Miami in that game had 204 yards of offense and lost 27-20. And the defense played fairly good, but FSU wasn't taking Miami seriously that day. And it showed in how they played. Then Miami loses to Louisville at home. I was at that game, 38-31. Can't stop a runny nose. You got guys committing stupid penalties throughout. You get one final win up at Boston College, and then you lose to Rutgers in the bowl game. I mean, like you're talking about a program that's just gone like this. And here we are now. We get Cam Ward, and you see what we had last year, but we had no defense. Couldn't stop anybody. You bring in Corey Heatherman, and now you have this team that is one game away from a national championship. It's not easy to get here, and you can't take these opportunities for granted. But these guys who could have gone anywhere, Rueben Bain would be a superstar anywhere, Alabama, Georgia, you name it. He'd be a superstar. He chose to stay at home, and he's being rewarded for staying at home. And the fact is, all these guys who had that belief in the vision, belief in Mario Cristobal, they're a game away from having the ultimate reward of a national championship, the sixth ring in the history of the Miami Hurricanes football program, and bringing something. And I don't want to say back because you'll never bring back what was. The system is not built that way anymore. This is the era of the free agent, the era of NIL deals, the era of there's no commitment, there's no loyalty, but yet Miami has some guys on this team that are loyal. They have some dudes on this team that are eternally loyal, who wanted to be Hurricanes, who are from South Florida, who wanted to bring back the prominence of a program that they only heard in stories. They never saw it. They never saw it. They only heard about it. They were only told by their moms and their dads. Yo, back in the 90s, back in the 80s, the 2001 Hurricanes, that 3-year stretch with Ken Dorsey and Ed Reed and so forth, where this team won 34 straight games, where we were a machine, where the Miami Hurricanes played in 10 national championships over a 20-year period, won 5 rings. Like you can't bring that era back. But what you can do is create a new one. You can create a new one to where now the Miami Hurricanes are going to win these recruiting battles because they're winning on the football field, not just because Mario Cristobal is trying to play the role of a salesman. Now he has something to actually sell. Like you got to be a damn good salesman to sell some shit when there's no value. Selling it's like selling diet pills to a fat person. The fat person, yeah, they love to go on a diet, but they're fat and they don't want to really diet. They want to keep eating cake and burgers and hot dogs. So it's not really real until they want to do it. And typically, hell, I'm a chunky trunk guy, and I don't want to go on diets. I want to eat burgers. I want to eat fun stuff. But he was selling a vision of nothing. Like there was nothing to show. 5-7, 7-6, awful coaching decisions, mismanagement of the team. That's what was going on. That is what was happening. But Cam Ward flipped that over last year. Then guys like Xavier Restrepo were a major part of that. Mark Fletcher, the major part of it. Rueben Bain, although he didn't play a lot last year, major part of that. These guys who've been here, who came here, and they believed in what he was selling them, even though he couldn't show it to them yet. They believed it, and they're right there. They're right there. And that is why this team is going to win a national championship on Monday. I'm not wishing this into existence. I'm not what's the word that you call I'm not manifesting this. I'm not manifesting this. I'm telling you what's going to happen because these guys are from here. The city's on their shoulders right now. The city is all here for them. South Florida, the county, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County, they're here for them. The fight that people had, Look, I know a lot of Hurricanes fans jump on bandwagons and stuff like that. We know how the fan base can be in South Florida. Very fickle, very, kind of spoiled in some ways, and they only want to watch winners. This isn't college town. There's a lot of stuff to do. You don't want to invest your money in team one 5-7, 7-6. I understand that. I get it. I get it. But at the same time, whether or not the Kings win on Monday or not, you better be there next year. But here's the thing, they're going to win on Monday night. And you better be there next year for every game, not just the big ones. You better be there for every game because these guys have earned that. Because these guys believed in a vision. And that vision's about to come true. Hell, that vision's already come true because Miami's here. 13-2. Just beat three of the best teams in the country back to back to back on the road. I mean, what else do you need? And regardless of whatever the recruiting battles are for right now for portal guys and quarterbacks and receivers and whoever else, we're here. We're here. And with the portal and how everything works and with recruiting and how everything works, young players, they want to see winning. High school kids, we're still building from the high schools. We're not building from the portal. We're completing from the portal, but we're building from our backyard. And our backyard is going to want to come to Miami now. Our backyard is going to want to stay and be a part of something great. But it took these individual guys to believe before everyone else believed. They were the early adopters of the vision, and they're the ones that have made the vision come true. And on Monday night, they're going to be freaking blessed for believing in that vision. Because for these guys, this is personal. This is beyond football. This is all personal. Their families are in the stands. The community's in the stands. People that watch them grow up are in the stands. Everybody's here to see these dudes play. Because when the Miami Hurricanes are great, they never saw that before. But they get the job done on Monday. When they get that job done on Monday, they're going to see something that they've never seen before. And the young people at the high schools in Dayton, Broward, and Palm Beach are going to see something that they've never seen before. And it's going to make their arms goosebump like mine are right now. It's crazy just thinking about it. It's going to happen. And it's because they believed in this vision. Because, God damn it, it's bigger than football. This is personal. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. It's Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.